Hi, this is Eddie Coan for Strength Inc. I'm going to answer a few questions that people sent in, and then I'm going to show a quick little thing on how I wrap my knees all the years. A lot of people wrap them all different ways and had success. This will just be the way that I do it. First question is from Christos Papanotis from Australia, a long way away. He wants to know if you're training for an equipped meet, IPF style, single ply stuff, and you're training with the periodization technique, how and when do you bring in the use of equipment through your training cycle? Well, it depends on a few different things. One is if you wear real tight equipment, it's going to take you longer to get used to it, so you're going to need more weeks. Or if you're very weak, raw, and you put on equipment, your lifts are going to jump up so much that you're going to need more weeks to get used to it also. I didn't need that many weeks to get used to it because I knew my equipment. Whether it was tight or loose or whatever, I was used to it, I knew what to expect. I only needed about 5 weeks into it at the most. I wouldn't recommend training with it all year round like a lot of people do because you inherently get a lot of weaknesses that you won't get when you're training raw. So for the most part, all off season I would train raw. And then as you gradually get into the meet cycle, that is, when you start to peak, put on your equipment. I started slow. I'd wear a looser bench shirt, then a tighter bench shirt. My tight wasn't actually that tight anyways. And I would start with my straps down in my suit, and then the last couple of weeks I'd get used to it, put the straps up, and I never wore a deadlift suit, as that usually caused me to pitch forward way too fast. I hope that answers your question. Next one is from Jonathan from Georgia. He talks about the deadlift, and basically his problem is he's watched a lot of videos on how to, and he never really got the gist of it. So basically his problem is he always leans or shifts forward because his hips are raising too early, or something to that effect. Can you break down some mechanics on a proper deadlift on a point-by-point idea so I can see a better breakdown? We'll post that on our video also, where my video selection or series actually shows deadlift, point by point. But basically what it is, there's a few different things. Either you are just pulling the weight and you're not pushing with your thighs. You got to get your chin and chest up a little bit. You might not be locking your back in. You might be deadlifting with a rounder back. So, and then there's the point where it just might be the way you're built. Me, even though I got long arms, I got these little oompa-loompa legs and a long torso. So if you watch a deadlift of mine on YouTube even, or on our site, an 887 conventional, I just bend over and pick it up. It looks like it's all back, but that was just the style that worked for me. As in like Vincenello, John Puck, there's a lot of different builds that had that. It might just be how you're built, but if you send us a video in, if you deadlift, and I can watch it and make you some suggestions. I hope that helps. Brian from Indiana. I've seen people bench press in the gym a lot of weight. Some people have a flat back. Well, I personally experienced great results from a major arch in my back. This was something I've done in my younger days, and I honestly think it's catching up to me. If what you mean, like it's starting to hurt your back, then obviously if something hurts, you can't do it, or you have a weakness, or there's something wrong with it already. What can I do to fix the kink in my bench press without having to revert to where I feel I'm trying to push the heavy weight? I've seen guys bench without an arch and with an arch. A lot of weight either way. It's whatever is comfortable for you. Your problem could be with your feet placement. If you go on and you look at some videos, and you see everybody benches different. The arch is different. A lot of women have huge arches, and you see where they place their feet, where a guy could never even do that. Bill Kazmaier benched flat back. He benched 661 raw. Mendelson takes an arch. He used to bench a lot of weight. He benched over 700 pounds raw. And there's a lot of lightweight guys who take huge arches. And there's a lot of guys that, myself, I benched raw in a full meet, 545 at 220, and I never arched at all. So it's kind of what you get used to, or what your body is capable of. So if it's hurting you, you're going to have to change your style a little bit, or your foot placement. That's basically the bottom line if it hurts you. And a general question, what's the proper way, or the Ed Coan way, of wrapping your knees? Well, like I said earlier, everyone has wrapped their knees a different way. and always had great results. Some guys just start from the bottom and just wrap around. Some guys start from the top and wrap right around. I used to try to lock my knee at the top of my knee. So you see my knee starts right here. That's where I would start. Pull tight as to keep the knee in the spot you want it. I wanted to force the kneecap more down. I didn't want it to come up. You know, usually I take about a quarter of the wrap and cover the side I'm going down on, because you don't want any gaps. Then I would come up, cross, and actually just put the rest on top like that. Like right now, I haven't worn knee wraps, and that feels tight as heck. And that always worked the best for me. But that's me. Hope you understand. Thank you. Bye-bye.